Okay, so Audit Committee beginning at 6:02 on June 6th, D-Day, 1941, should be 44. And just for the record, let's identify ourselves. So Heather, you want to start?
Heather Moran, Finance Committee.
Mike Fitzpatrick.
Dick Vandenberg. So we have our quorum. Our first item of business will be the minutes of April 4. Any comments or questions on the minutes of April 4?
Are you making a motion to approve the April 4th, 2023 minutes?
All right, so Heather moves, we approve them.
Second.
Mike seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. April 4. So now we have the proposal from Markham Accountants, and just for the record, this was the only proposal we received from any applicant. So Heather, you had a couple comments or questions?
Yeah, I don't, Jean's not in here, but
We can get her.
the dates, because they start July 1st, right, that's the new year, but that they wouldn't start work to get deliverables to them. The start date would be August 1st. Is that sufficient time? Is that the norm that was normally in the contract? And that was the only thing,
Why don't you go get her? Yeah.
Step in.
that was the only thing that I found that was, just wanted to cross-reference, is that an appropriate time for her, for the town?
Yeah, I had a similar question, Heather. What page was that schedule?
28.
Okay, yeah. So Jean, Heather has a question about the schedule from the applicant.
Okay.
So Heather?
I have not seen this.
So I
Start
just,
date August 1st.
yeah, so normally it's July 1st is what the contract's going in for, so I just wanted to know, is that the norm, what they normally do, or do we need to go back and clarify with them that we want them to start on July 1st?
They don't usually start that late, but because it's submitted, because we're doing this so late, they've already set their schedule up for the spring. So they've already planned, like, normally
They don't
I'm
have a 2-week notice to start.
I'm contacting them in May. I get myself on their schedule. So they usually have a site visit in July.
Correct.
So they do some pre-testing, and then I start sending up some stuff in August. But because I was not in contact with them in May, they probably have people already in their slots. So that's late for me.
So, because we have, the contract itself is July 1st, so I think we
Yes.
need to clarify with them.
Yeah, but it may be because they set up their schedule.
What does that do to our schedule?
It depends on how booked they are for August. Because, like I said, I usually have, they're usually on site at least 3 times. So July, a couple times in August, I'm wrapping up. But if they've already scheduled their people out and I'm trying to fit into their schedule, it's going to put me back a little bit. Yeah. So I guess what I would ask them to do is to work with me and see if we can move that date up a little bit. If I have Markham, depending on the lead, I will start, once you give me direction, and this is the company I'm able to use, I'm sending stuff up to them already.
So you'll get in touch with them then?
So I'll get in touch with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware, because I didn't think that was the norm, just,
It's not,
I
it's
thought it
not.
was July too as well, just
Yeah.
because school sends over their stuff too as well.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker for me because instead of me sending some stuff up earlier, I'm sending it all up at one time. It's for this year. Next year, I'm going to be contacting them in April to get on their
I
schedule.
don't want this to be the normal
No.
schedule, whereas next year they think that it starts in August
Right.
again, that we can
Right.
be, so that's what,
Right. This year, I get it, because like I said, we're late, they've already done their schedule.
okay.
So that
Pre-comments.
August 1st is just their initial start time, that's not a reoccurring date.
No, and like I said, they
I didn't
have,
have it in there, that it was just for this, the basic,
Yeah.
basically.
they have a portal. So as I close things down, like the statement of indebtedness, once I start closing stuff down, I just upload it. So they start work, like, so if, I don't know, it used to be a couple groups ago,
Right.
if they had nothing to do that day and they saw something there, they finished that, because I send them that and all this supporting documentation as I close things out. I send up all my town meetings so I can do the budget work. Like, there's things I will still continue to do, so it's available for them, so when they start working on it. So I won't hold up.
Well, I didn't want to hold up anything on your side either, because you have your calendar where you do business, right?
I do, but I will continue my schedule. It's just getting on their calendar so I get them down here. And the other thing, we're scheduled to do a munis conversion in August, so I actually won't be, I may take the 1st and the 2nd off of August, so that's
2
starting.
days in a row?
But
I may need
if
to.
we award it, like if this is the, all intents and purposes, we're going with this, we can call them, like, once they get it, we
Yes.
can work the dates in July.
Yeah.
That we can.
I would ask them to work with me and to, so that we can do some mutual. Did it say who would be the partner?
Yes, it
Working? Is
has.
it Scott McIntyre still?
Yeah, toward the back are the names of all the people.
Andrew's the manager.
Okay,
Directors. Yes, he's the partner, he's the overseer.
I don't know who she is, so she would be new to us.
Yeah.
So Andrew is, so they do have a different person
Yeah,
that's going to be
because-
on the audit. So he would be here, but I've never worked with Cheryl. And then, okay, yeah,
Okay.
all right.
So I excuse me, I have a procedure question, Gene, so I'm just looking at our process of the application, and it says at the end that the audit committee will award the contract with the proposal deemed most advantageous to the town, et cetera, et cetera. So if this committee votes to award the contract to this group, what actually makes it start? Is it, we have to send them a letter
You
saying
would
you
send
have
them
the
a letter.
contract, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if that would come through Lisa's office.
I think
So
so.
I would probably send some formal notice to the selectman's office, town administrator's office, saying this
Yeah,
committee,
he's the procurement officer, so he
yeah.
set that up.
So they will send down, they'll have to send down an engagement letter that, we'll have to sign, and then, like I said, once you do that, then I will contact them. Once you give me the verbal, I would probably, well,
Proactive, yeah.
I want to get on their schedule.
Right, that was my only thing, was
Yeah.
when I saw that to me was like, I think that we're late to me.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's not a killer, because I will have more done for when they start, but I don't want to be in that slot every year.
Correct, and was my thing.
Yeah.
They will say the final report will be just before the holidays. We
Yeah.
really have it before then.
Yeah, and that's right around the time, going back 3-4 years ago, pre-COVID, we used to have our exit conference on that
Yes.
beginning of December, because I don't want to be talking about FY '23 when I'm working on an FY '25 budget. I'm already asking people, what year am I in? So that's why it's just, these things kind of get dragged on, and you just have to remember too many things. We talk about that,
Yeah.
right? It's just like, it happened, I remember it happened, but now what year did it happen? Because it crossed fiscal years, and it's just like,
Dealing with 4 years at one time, so.
and it's hard, right?
Oh,
You know,
trust me.
Mike came in and asked me a date, and I'm like, well, I know it started in this year. I said, but the date of the award, you know, that's, yeah. So,
Okay, thanks, Jean.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I should go finish my copy.
Anything else on the proposal from Markham, Heather?
No, I mean, everything else that was the only thing that I found that I thought, because it answers to what we want them to do. It does give us the flexibility. It did talk about, because I know Howard was, and you were too, can you
Yeah.
go in ahead, because you have a special topic you want them to focus in on?
Correct.
Yes, that does give flexibility in
Yep.
there.
That was
So-
my biggest concern with them. I had a level of comfort with them coming in to start with because it's the existing company that were,
Yep.
they just bought out by another company.
Yeah. So,
I don't see the level of service changing much.
no, I mean, and the youngsters that are on it, they're just doing it to get their hours and get out of the city. To
And
private.
it's nice to see that it's somebody she doesn't, and that Jean doesn't recognize, so we know that we're having a good process.
How about you, Mike? Any issues with the applicant?
No.
Okay, I had a couple, but Matt helped me find them in the paperwork, so I don't have any either, so.
Do you want to explain that? I was in the room, so explain that to Heather for her benefit.
So, in our application, we, in our checklist, we ask for a form that has a signature, authorization, tax compliance, and a non-collusion, and I couldn't find that, but it wasn't a separate thing. It was in the,
Was it in the back?
it was where they had signed it. It was just it was a paragraph that was inserted in the
It's the,
thing that they signed. So it was here. And the other one had to do with liability insurance.
yeah.
Which Mark said we could do that at the time of contract. if
Yeah.
we're gonna have the up-to-date one.
It's not specific in here. It says there's a general liability that they mention, but they don't mention professional liability. They have commercial general liability checked, they have automobile liability checked, they have an umbrella liability checked. But
The umbrella one might be the one that picks it up.
I think that it's the umbrella.
you think so?
I
Yes,
think so.
That would cover professional?
that's probably what their umbrella is.
Because it's 25 million.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's what it is.
the professional liability is not less than 2 million in our proposal,
Yeah.
so we'll assume that's what it is then.
I would bet that's exactly
Okay.
what it is.
But those are my only questions, so. So are we happy with Markham as the applicant?
I am. If everybody's comfortable with it, I'd like to make a recommendation that we select Markham as our auditing firm.
All right, so that will be a motion then, that we award the contract to Markham, is that right, Mike? Okay.
Second?
Second by Heather. Any discussion? So the motion is that we will award the contract to Markham Accountants Advisors, and we'll move ahead right away with the
So we should
paperwork to get that going.
Should we word it that we're going to make the recommendation
I was going to add that in
to
after.
the administrator to award the contract because we don't have the awarding capabilities?
It says we do, though.
Oh, we do?
It says the audit committee will award the contract.
Okay.
And I would do a caveat that we can also inform Jean that she can reach out to Touch.
Yeah. And then we'll go to the selectman's office to have Lisa send them the letter.
Yes.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any discussion? It passes unanimously, right? I don't know when we're going to meet again for audit committee. I know we have a timeline.
Isn't there a review period? Wasn't it in the fall?
Yeah, you have, because the draft will come in based on the timeline, which I said we'd get the timeline from Jean. 'cause
That
she's
was
gonna try
page
to-
28 again, right, Heather?
28, yes, it's supposed to be November 1st, is the draft comes in.
But aren't we supposed to meet with them again in like the end of the year or something?
Pre-conference meeting is like September 1st-ish. If you look at page 28, it'll give you.
I got it, yeah.
So I would say, let's wait for Jean, Jean takes the lead, comes up with a date of when they would like to meet with us,
Okay.
and then it'll be sometime in September based on this.
Okay, so we'll not set a date yet. We'll wait to hear from Jean and so on. All right, I don't think we have anything else on our agenda.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Mike moves, we adjourn.
Second?
Heather seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. We adjourn at 6:17.